As you can see, there are some large masses of cloud moving in from the west that are responsible for the low pressure system that's bringing us such mild weather. Switching to radar now, clean and clear over Brandon, and for that matter, most of Western Canada shouldn't be seeing any precipitation over the next few days. Taking a look at our 3-day forecast now, tomorrow a high of 2 and a low of -6 under partly cloudy skies. Thursday, more of the same, partly cloudy with a high of -3 and a low of -7. The winds will be out of the northwest at 10 kilometers an hour. And taking us into the weekend, Friday, a mix of sun and cloud, a high of 0 and a low of -9. And believe it or not, the blizzard that blew through the province has actually made some people rather happy. Jose Valencourt with Manitoba's Festival de Voyageurs says they were worried about not having enough snow for their famous sculptures. He says that's not the case anymore after the recent weather system dumped up to 30 centimeters of snow on some parts of the province. Workers at a Manitoba hog farm have voted in favor of a strike to back contract demands. The 500 employees of Spring Hill Farm in Neepawa will decide at the end of the month whether or not to walk off the job. Pensions, wages, and hours worked are the main issues in the dispute at the Spring Hill Farm plant, a facility that processes more than 3,600 hogs per day for both international and domestic markets. The Association of Manitoba Municipalities meeting has a major economic impact on Brandon as the 4-day event brings in approximately 1,000 municipal officials. The premiers of Manitoba and Saskatchewan will hit the highway today and meet in Yorkton for their first ever joint cabinet meeting, and highways will be on the agenda. Manitoba Premier Greg Selinger and Saskatchewan Premier Brad Wall will talk about highways and transportation, specifically the harmonization of regulations for things like load sizes. Wall calls the meeting a starting point and says it's the first of many chances for the provinces to work together. Selinger says the meeting is also a good opportunity to talk about the ways to cooperate on national priorities. The premiers and their cabinet ministers are also expected to talk about energy and the environment, as well as Canada-US relations. And a tentative new deal for about 500 workers at Spring Hill Farms in Neepawa has been reached. Union official Jeff Traeger says that after some last-minute negotiations, the two sides have been able to find common ground. The vote on whether or not to accept the deal will happen on February 9th. The workers at the pork processing plant had voted overwhelmingly to strike, saying wages and pensions are the big issues. Traeger is pleased that it did not come down to walking off the job. And Manitoba has been criticized for not releasing information on how students perform academically at individual high schools. Well, the Wheat Kings had a big showdown with the Blades on Saturday night in Saskatoon, a game that would see the winning team move into first in the Eastern Conference. Pick it up in the first period. After a good forecheck, Lewodniak finds Rahala, and the Team Finland World Junior has his 18th. Just 30 seconds later, a weak wrister, but it's Shane Weeb who plays the role of garbage man. He's got his 19th, and the Wheaties are up 2 just 2 minutes in. Then it's Matt Calvert. Whoop! What a nice move as he tucks it behind Sanford. That's way too easy. The Wheaties are up 3, but Saskatoon would respond to Savardi and Spinorama, and Zerzinski gets Saskatoon on the board 3-1 through 20 minutes. Now in the third, same score. It's Wintoniak with a wrister that somehow gets by Desairs, a bit of a weak one, and it gets Saskatoon to within 1. After a lost face-off in Brandon own zone, it's Stefan Elliott who will snap one glove side by Desairs, and we're all knotted up at 3. 60 minutes wouldn't solve anything, so we're headed to OT, and a big hop just about cost the Wheaties the game, but Saskatoon sticks with it. It's Wintoniak and Patterson showing their best Sedin impersonation, and it's Patterson who ends up finding the puck, walking around and snapping one short side by Desairs as Galen Patterson plays hero as Saskatoon snaps Brandon's winning streak and takes top spot in the East with a 4-3 overtime victory over the Wheaties. The Wheat Kings will now look to start a new streak tonight against Jordan Eberle and the Regina Pats. Puck drops at 7 o'clock at Westman Place.